Hey, soap fans, welcome back to the desk of your favorite overworked and highly caffeinated daytime drama reporter. And I am just sitting here staring at my screen at 3 in the morning because the news coming out of Los Angeles right now is absolutely insane. I mean, I am literally typing this as fast as my fingers can move, and my coffee is completely cold, but I do not even care because the writers over at The Bold and the Beautiful just dropped a massive bomb on us, and I am still trying to process the sheer madness of it all. So we need to talk about Deacon Sharp. We need to talk about Sheila Carter. We need to talk about fires and guilt and the most twisted, toxic love story currently airing on daytime television. Because if you thought the drama at the Cliff House was wild, then you have no idea what just happened down at Il Giardino. But let me back up for a second. Let me just give you a quick refresher on where we were literally 5 minutes ago in soap time. So we all know Sheila just snapped. She put the puzzle pieces together. She saw that pizza box. She realized her husband was doing the horizontal mambo with Taylor Hayes, of all people. And Sheila went straight to Taylor's office and completely lost her mind. She shattered a mirror. She screamed at Taylor until the good doctor finally confessed to the affair. And then Sheila just walked away in her little white nurse shoes, leaving Taylor terrified and screaming. And meanwhile, Deacon is over there telling his daughter Hope that everything is fine. He is delusionally reassuring Hope that his secret is completely safe. The sheer arrogance of this man is just staggering. He really thought he could play Sheila Carter. He really thought he could just sneak around with Taylor and then go home to his psycho wife and pretend everything was normal. But the universe had a very different plan for Deacon Sharp. And that plan involved a whole lot of fire. So here is the raw, unfiltered scoop of what just went down. It is the middle of the night. The restaurant is closed. Il Giardino is empty except for Deacon. He is in the back storage room doing inventory or counting his marinara sauce cans or whatever a restaurant owner does at 2 in the morning when he is trying to avoid his angry wife. And there is an electrical short, just a random sudden electrical short in the walls of the restaurant. And guys, it does not just spark a little bit, it causes a massive raging fire. The flames just erupt out of nowhere. And in a matter of minutes, the entire restaurant is filled with thick black smoke and raging fire. And Deacon is trapped. He is stuck in the back storage room. The flames have completely surrounded the door. There is no way out. The smoke is pouring into the room. The heat is rising, and Deacon is choking. He is literally suffocating in his own restaurant, the place he built, the place he worked so hard to buy. It is all going up in flames, and he is going down with it. And this is where the story gets so crazy, I can barely even type it. Because guess who shows up? Guess who happens to be right there outside the restaurant as the flames are bursting through the windows? Sheila. Sheila Carter Sharp. Her husband just betrayed her. He just humiliated her. He just slept with a woman who used to be her friend. Sheila has every reason in the world to just stand there on the sidewalk and watch that building burn to the ground. She has every reason to just walk away and let the fire solve all her problems. I mean, this is Sheila we are talking about. She has shot people for less. She has terrorized families for decades. She is a villain. She is a monster. But here is the thing about Sheila. Her love is just as intense and terrifying as her hate. And when she sees those flames shooting out of the roof of Il Giardino, she does not hesitate. She does not stop to think about Taylor. She does not stop to think about the betrayal. She just screams his name and runs straight into the burning building. I am not even kidding right now. Sheila Carter literally runs into a raging inferno. The smoke is blinding. The heat is melting everything around her. The ceiling is groaning and cracking, but she just keeps pushing forward. She is dodging falling beams. She is fighting her way through the flames. She gets to the back room and she finds Deacon, and he is unconscious. He has passed out from the smoke inhalation. He is just lying there on the floor, surrounded by fire, and Sheila is already burning. The fire is searing her skin. She is in absolute agony, but she grabs him. She uses every last ounce of strength in her body to drag this grown man across the floor. She is pulling him through the flames. She is getting burned worse and worse by the second, but she refuses to let go. She drags him all the way to the exit. And right as they clear the doorway, the entire ceiling collapses behind them. A massive crash of burning wood and metal right where they were just lying. She pulled him out just in the nick of time. And then she collapses. They are both just lying there on the pavement outside as the fire trucks and the ambulances come rushing in with their sirens blaring. And the paramedics are swarming them. They load them onto stretchers. And the whole time, Sheila is just completely out of it. Her body is covered in severe burns. She sacrificed herself to save the man who was literally planning to leave her. And I just have to pause here and say, wow, just wow. Say what you want about Sheila Carter, but the woman commits. When she loves you, she will literally walk through fire for you. It is twisted and it is sick and it is deeply unhealthy, but it is also kind of incredible in a very dark soap opera way. So we fast forward a bit. The scene shifts to the hospital, the classic stark white walls and the annoying beeping monitors. Deacon wakes up. He is coughing. His throat is raw from the smoke. He is confused and disoriented. He remembers the fire. He remembers the smoke filling his lungs and thinking he was going to die in that storage room. And then he turns his head and he sees the bed next to him and he sees Sheila. And guys, it is bad. She is wrapped in bandages. She is hooked up to all these machines. She is severely burned. The doctors are talking about skin grafts and long recovery times and the immense amount of pain she is in. And the reality of what just happened hits Deacon like a ton of bricks. The paramedics tell him what she did. They tell him that she ran into a building that was fully engulfed in flames just to drag him out. They tell him he would be a pile of ashes right now if it was not for his wife. And the guilt, oh my gosh, the guilt. You can literally see it crushing Deacon. It is written all over his face. He starts sobbing, ugly crying, because he realizes the absolute magnitude of the situation. He was just lying in Taylor Hayes's bed. He was just fantasizing about leaving his wife for the elegant, refined psychiatrist. He thought Taylor was his future. He thought Sheila was just this crazy burden he had to get rid of. But then he looks at Sheila's burned body and he realizes something very profound and very disturbing. Taylor would never run into a burning building for him. Taylor would never sacrifice her own life for him. Taylor is safe and normal and rational. But this diabolical, crazy, psycho woman lying in the bed next to him is the only person on the planet who is willing to die for him. So Deacon is just sitting there drowning in his own tears and his own remorse. The guilt is eating him alive. He realizes that he can never leave her now. How do you hand a divorce paper to a woman who is covered in third-degree burns because she saved your life? You cannot do it. It is impossible. He is trapped. He is completely and utterly chained to this marriage now. And it is not out of love anymore. It is out of debt. It is out of a massive, crushing sense of obligation. He owes her his actual life. Every breath he takes from now on belongs to Sheila Carter, and he knows it. He feels the invisible prison doors slamming shut around him. He is never getting away from her. And the craziest part is he does not even feel like he deserves to get away anymore. He feels like a piece of garbage. He betrayed a woman who just proved that her love for him is absolute and unconditional and terrifyingly real. So Deacon makes a decision. He has to end things with Taylor. He cannot keep doing this. He cannot keep sneaking around with the doctor while his wife is recovering from saving his life. It is too dirty. It is too wrong, even for a guy like Deacon. So he gets a hold of Taylor. I do not know if he calls her from the hospital phone or if she actually sneaks in to visit him, but they have the conversation and Deacon just unloads on her. He tells her it is over. He tells her they can never see each other again. He explains what Sheila did. He explains the burns. He explains the fire. And he tells Taylor that he owes his life to his wife and he cannot leave her. He just cannot do it. The guilt is too much. And you can just imagine Taylor's reaction. She is probably standing there in shock. She just confessed the affair to Sheila a few hours ago. She was probably expecting Sheila to murder her. And instead, Sheila goes and plays the ultimate hero. Taylor cannot even argue with it. What is she going to say? Oh, sorry, your wife burned alive for you, but you should still date me. No. Taylor knows she lost. She knows she cannot compete with that level of extreme sacrifice. So she just has to accept it. She has to walk away. She has been dumped by Deacon Sharp. And honestly, it is probably for the best because Steffi was about to literally disown her mother over this whole mess anyway, but still it has to sting. Taylor finally let her guard down. She finally fell for the bad boy. And now she is getting tossed aside because the bad boy's psycho wife decided to play superhero in a pizza joint. But wait, because this is the bold and the beautiful, and nothing is ever that simple. Nothing ever ends exactly the way you think it will. So Deacon is at the hospital. He has just dumped Taylor. He is sitting by Sheila's bed. He is holding her unburned hand. He is crying. He is apologizing. He is pouring his heart out. He is telling her how sorry he is for everything. He is telling her he will never leave her. He is telling her he is going to take care of her and make it up to her for the rest of their lives. He is basically surrendering his entire soul to her right there in the burn unit. And Sheila wakes up. She opens her eyes. She is in immense pain. You can see it in her face. The medication is pumping through her veins, but the agony is still there. She looks at Deacon. She sees his tears. She hears his desperate apologies. She knows she has won. She knows she has him locked down forever. The guilt trip is fully operational and it is a complete success. But then she does something that literally made me gasp out loud. She looks at him and with her weak, raspy, smoke-damaged voice, she tells him no. She tells him he does not owe her anything. She tells him to follow his heart. Wait, what? Did I hear that right? Did Sheila Carter just tell her husband to follow his heart and be with the woman he cheated on her with? Yes. Yes, she did. And my brain is just spinning, trying to figure out what kind of twisted 4D chess this woman is playing right now, because there is absolutely no way she means it. 0% chance. Sheila does not share. Sheila does not forgive and forget. Sheila does not let her man walk away to go be with Taylor Hayes. So why would she say that? Why would she give him an out? And then it hit me. It is the ultimate manipulation. It is the most brilliant, diabolical move she could possibly make, because she knows Deacon. She knows how his mind works. If she demands that he stays, he might eventually resent her. If she uses the burns as a weapon to guilt trip him, he might eventually feel trapped and try to escape again. But if she plays the martyr, if she plays the selfless, loving wife who just wants him to be happy, even if it breaks her own heart, well, that changes everything. That makes her look like a saint. That makes her look like the victim of all victims. And it makes Deacon feel even worse. It doubles the guilt. It triples the guilt. By telling him he is free to go, she is virtually guaranteeing that he will never leave. Because now he looks at her and sees a woman who not only saved his life, but is willing to sacrifice her own happiness for his. He cannot walk away from that. No man with a conscience could walk away from that. Sheila is a genius, an absolute evil genius. She is using reverse psychology on a massive scale. She knows he already broke up with Taylor. She knows he is sitting there drowning in remorse, and she just handed him the final nail in his own coffin. She told him to follow his heart, knowing full well his heart is currently buried under a mountain of guilt and obligation. He is not going anywhere. He is going to stay right by her side. He is going to spoon feed her Jello and change her bandages and tell her he loves her every single day. because he is so terrified of being the bad guy who left his burned wife. And I just cannot stop thinking about the ripple effects this is going to have on everyone else in Los Angeles. I mean, think about Steffi. Steffi has been losing her absolute mind for weeks over this Taylor and Deacon situation. She just found out about the Cliff House incident. She just found out that Sheila knows the truth. Steffi has been running around doing damage control and warning Ridge and screaming at her mother. And now this happens. Now Sheila is a hero. Now Sheila saved Deacon's life. How is Steffi going to handle this? She hates Sheila more than anything in the world, but now Sheila is in the hospital covered in burns because she did something objectively brave and selfless. It is going to short circuit Steffi's brain. She is not going to know how to process this. She will probably still say it is a manipulation. And honestly, she would be right, but it is going to be really hard to argue with third-degree burns. And what about Ridge? Ridge just flew up at Taylor. He just judged her so harshly for being reckless and getting involved with a psychopath's husband. He was ready to play the big hero and save Taylor from Sheila. But now there is no one to save her from. Sheila is incapacitated. Sheila is a patient, and Taylor is just sitting there alone, having been dumped by the guy she risked everything for. Ridge is probably going to feel a mix of relief and intense confusion. He will probably try to comfort Taylor, but he will also probably give her a massive "I told you so" speech, because Ridge cannot help himself. He loves to be right. And then there is Hope. Poor naive Hope. She just had this whole conversation with her dad where he promised her everything was fine. He promised her Sheila knew nothing. And the next thing she knows, she gets a phone call that her dad's restaurant burned down and his psycho wife saved his life and is now in the burn unit. Hope is going to be devastated. She is going to rush to the hospital. She is going to see her dad crying over Sheila. And she is going to realize that her dream of her parents getting back together or her dad ending up with a nice, normal woman like Taylor is officially dead. Deacon is tied to Sheila forever now. Hope is going to have to accept that her stepmother is not just a passing phase. Her stepmother is the woman who saved her father's life. And we cannot forget about Il Giardino itself. The restaurant is gone. It is a pile of ash and charred wood. Deacon put everything he had into that place. It was his pride and joy. It was his redemption arc. And now it is destroyed. How did the fire even start? Was it really just an electrical short, or is there something more sinister going on? I mean, in the soap world, a random fire is rarely just a random fire. Did someone set it? Did Sheila set it herself just so she could play the hero? No, that is too crazy, even for her. She got severely burned. You do not set a fire and then run into it just for a manipulation tactic, or do you? I do not know anymore. With Sheila, anything is possible. But assuming it was just an accident, it is still a massive blow to Deacon. He has lost his business. He has lost his freedom. He has lost Taylor. He has basically lost everything except his life. And the only reason he has his life is because of the woman he was trying to betray. The irony is just so thick you could cut it with a knife. Deacon spent all this time trying to manage Sheila, trying to keep her calm, trying to hide his affair. He thought he was the one in control. He thought he was the smart guy playing all the angles, but he was just a pawn. He was always just a pawn. And now he is completely trapped in a web of guilt and debt and fiery destruction. And I have to say the acting in these scenes is going to be phenomenal. I can already picture it, the smoke and the flames, the dramatic music, Deacon coughing and choking, Sheila screaming his name, the slow motion drag out of the burning building. It is going to be classic daytime television at its absolute finest. And the hospital scenes are going to tear our hearts out, because even though we know Sheila is a monster and even though we know Deacon is a fool, you cannot help but feel the raw emotion of that moment. You cannot help but feel the heavy, crushing weight of that guilt. So what happens next? Where do we go from here? Deacon is going to have to rebuild his life from the ashes, literally and metaphorically. He is going to have to find a way to pay for Sheila's medical bills. He is going to have to find a way to reconstruct his restaurant. He's going to have to deal with the constant reminder of his betrayal every time he looks at his wife's scars. It is a heavy burden. It is a dark path. And he is walking it entirely alone because Taylor is gone, Hope is disillusioned, and Sheila is holding all the cards. And as for Sheila, she is going to milk this for everything it is worth. She is going to play the recovering hero. She is going to bat her eyelashes and talk in that soft, breathy voice and tell everyone how she just acted on instinct. She is going to use this to try and win over Finn. Oh my gosh, Finn. I did not even think about Finn. How is Finn going to react to this? His biological mother, who he hates and fears, just did something incredibly heroic. Is this going to soften his heart? Is this going to make him want to visit her in the hospital? Steffi will absolutely forbid it. Steffi will stand guard at the door to the burn unit to keep her husband away. But Finn is a doctor. He has a sworn oath to heal people, and he has this deep buried connection to his birth mother. If Sheila uses her burns to reel Finn back in, Steffi might actually explode, like literally spontaneously combust. The storylines branching off from this one fire are just endless. It touches every single character on the canvas. It shifts the entire power dynamic. Sheila was on the verge of going back to prison or going on a murderous rampage. And instead, she gets an instant redemption arc handed to her on a silver platter. She is untouchable right now. You cannot attack a woman who is wrapped in bandages, recovering from a heroic rescue. You just cannot do it. She has an absolute shield of immunity, and Deacon knows it. He knows he is stuck. He knows he is playing a part in a twisted tragedy that he wrote himself. If he had just been honest, if he had just broken up with Sheila before he started sneaking around with Taylor, maybe none of this would have happened. But he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted the danger of Sheila and the refinement of Taylor. And he ended up with a burned down restaurant and a lifetime of guilt. So I am going to keep my eyes glued to the screen this week. I am going to watch every second of this fallout. I want to see Taylor's face when Deacon dumps her. I want to see Steffi's face when she hears the news. I want to see Ridge try to process the fact that Sheila Carter is a hero. And most of all, I want to see the twisted smile on Sheila's face when Deacon is not looking, because you know it is there. You know that underneath all the pain and the bandages, she is thrilled. She won. She beat Taylor. She secured her man. And all it cost her was a little bit of skin. All right, my coffee is officially gross and the sun is starting to come up, so I need to wrap this massive rant up before my editor yells at me for writing a novel instead of a news update. But seriously, you guys, this is why we watch the soaps. This is the crazy, dramatic, over-the-top storytelling that keeps us hooked year after year. Nobody does a villain redemption guilt trip quite like The Bold and the Beautiful. And nobody plays a desperate trap fool quite like Deacon Sharp. So drop your comments below. Let me know what you think about this wild twist. Do you think Sheila really meant it when she told Deacon to follow his heart? Do you think Deacon will ever actually leave her now? And do you think Steffi is going to need a straitjacket when she finds out about all of this? Because I am pretty sure she is going to need a straitjacket. Stay tuned, soap fans, because things are just getting started and the heat is definitely on. Keep watching, keep gasping, and I will be right back here tomorrow with more unfiltered, unhinged updates from the crazy world of Forrester Creations and whatever is left of Il Giardino. See you then.